Mike, welcome back to Good Living. How are you?
I'm very well, Megan. Good to see you.
Yeah, you're looking fine and dandy. Things are agreeing with you these days.
This is not my time of day, Megan.
I know. It's a bit difficult for you, isn't it?
And Thursday is my non-shave day as well, so...
Well, it's working for you.
Really?
You should go with that, yeah. Definitely.
We'll go the 10 o'clock stubble.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what do you think? Big news overnight with the tobacco legislation.
Bit of a shock, isn't it?
Yeah, did we see that coming?
No, I certainly didn't. I think a really interesting point has been seized upon by Jim Anderton, who is very much in favour of whacking the excise tax higher on alcohol. And last night in the House, he laid into the government for scoffing at that suggestion by Sir Geoffrey Palmer, basically saying, no, we're not going to put the excise tax up on booze, yet without any forewarning, they absolutely hammer the tobacco. Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it? But quite significantly too. It's like on average $1.10 more now.
Yeah.
And by 2012, it will be significantly higher again.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to do what they want it to do, which is to stop people smoking?
Well, with a little bit of experience of smoking in my life, yes, I think price sensitivity is quite a powerful influence. Yeah. The prospect of a packet of 25 being $17 does seem very steep, and that's only, I think, what, 2 years away under this change.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm sure it will propel a lot of people to be on the quitline phone today. Yeah.
Where does that extra money go? Like, if they're making that legislation, who's getting the difference?
It will go into the consolidated fund, and I think they're looking at, what, $200 million in extra revenue from this. So it's not a bad return for the taxpayer. Essentially, it just gives them a little bit more options in terms of spending. I've often heard die-hard smokers say that when you look at the costs of smoking-related illnesses and what impact that has on our health system, the government is making a hiding to nothing when it comes to the actual overall revenue, which I think is about $1.5 billion in tobacco tax excise. And I saw a figure recently that the health system, the cost of the health system is about $600 million. So yeah, it's a very nice wee profit.
Yeah, doing well indeed, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now, local body politics, of course, right in the midst of that, aren't we?
We are. It's still rumbling away, and I think the semblance of a true mayoral race is yet to finally solidify, but May is going to be a most interesting month. Of course, it is, what, May 1st on Saturday? Wow. So the names to look out for as to an announcement in May, Jim Anderton. If I was a betting man, I would be putting $1,000 on Jim Anderton running for the Christchurch mayoralty as the 2021 candidate.
Wow.
I am certain it's going to happen.
What day do we find out, do you know?
2021 have indicated that they will make an announcement by May the 26th.
Okay.
I don't know what's magical about the 26th. Maybe it's Jimmy's birthday.
Could be.
Yeah. So Jim Anderton, I reckon, is odds on. Jo Kane is likely to make up her mind next week, and she's on NewsMakers on Friday week. So it'd be nice if she could make up her mind before then. Yeah,
so she's not letting anything out of the bag yet, is she?
Well, she has taken this sort of rather Buddhist approach that one should not make a decision when one is angry. And she is still angry about what happened to the regional council. So apparently Jo is starting to calm down and will come to a conclusion. Although it's interesting, I actually get a feeling that she is perhaps leaning towards the Waimakariri mayoralty as opposed to the Christchurch mayoralty. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
She was the deputy mayor of Waimak 2 elections ago. And there does seem to be a lot of contention amongst Waimakariri people as to whether the current mayor is worthy of re-election. So I think perhaps she sees a big opportunity there to get back into that race.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who else? Any kind of underdogs coming through?
Well, Mark Alexander, who would be standing for the City Vision ticket, which of course was the ticket that Joe Giles ran on 3 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah, Mark Alexander, I believe, is going to stand. Whether they make an announcement sooner or later remains to be seen, but I believe Mark Alexander will be lining up. Now, there's every chance there will be some dark horse that comes out of nowhere. Megan?
Yes.
Have you got something to share with the class?
Do we have an announcement? Okay, so tentative at this stage, May 26th is the day when that will all be announced.
For Jim Anderton.
Yeah, okay, and then it all kicks into gear after that. Now, newsmakers are looking at the liquor reform as well. This is big, isn't it?
It's a very big issue, yes, and it's likely to rumble on for at least another year in terms of the process through Parliament. I think the most interesting aspect to it is the age of purchase debate. And it's interesting that the Law Commission, apparently when they started down this whole process of reviewing the law, their initial position was, yes, let's have a split age of purchase. So for your takeaway booze, supermarkets, bottle stores, you have to be 20. But for supervised premises, whether it be Soul Square, the Strip, wherever, keep it at 18, which I actually think makes a lot of sense. At least 18-year-olds are drinking in supervised premises, and I think supervision is the key here.
Yeah, that is the key, isn't it? That's what's going to make the difference there.
But it appears that Sir Geoffrey has been overwhelmingly convinced by the medical fraternity that there is just too much damage being done to teenagers' heads, 18 and 19-year-olds, via booze. So whether the Parliament will follow on from that recommendation and put it up to 20 across the board, I think it's going to be a close call.
And you're going to be having a chat with, of course, the Hospitality Association and health campaigners about this. That will be very interesting.
Yeah, Professor Doug Selman, who is the director of the National Addiction Centre, he's based in Christchurch. He's been very much on the front lines of this whole battle, and he's a very happy camper with what Sir Geoffrey's come up with. Very, very happy. Peter Morrison from the Hospitality Association, not so happy. So they square off on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Don't miss that, actually, because entertaining as well, I would imagine, in some regards.
Yes.
Now, of course, British elections as well, getting back to those, because that's May the 6th, so their big day too, isn't it?
Yes.
Gordon Brown, if you've heard the news today, a massive faux pas when he talked about one of his, supporters, I guess, didn't have too many kind words to say about her, but he's not doing himself any favours, is he?
I think that's a sign of the pressure and perhaps the sign of a beaten man. In fact, I reckon that's a wee bit... Remember a couple of years ago, there was the Charlie moment when Charles was posing with William and Harry, the cameras, and Charles was picked up on an open mic saying, "Oh, I despise that reporter. He's the most revolting individual." It's a bit like that, isn't it? One of those moments, yeah.
It's kind of one of those cringe moments, but we do love to see it, don't we?
Exactly.
Because it's not happening to us, it's happening to someone else.
Yeah.
So you think it could be the kind of start of the end for him?
I think so. I think perhaps the most interesting aspect now to the British election race is, can the Liberal Democrats beat Labour for second place? Are we facing the prospect of a British government finishing third in their re-election?
Which is quite a likely possibility.
It seems to be, yeah. I saw some polls just in the last day or so out of Britain that would suggest the Conservatives are now starting to build up a head of steam, and they are going to be absolutely first across the finish line. It probably now just comes down to whether they will have an outright majority to govern, or will they have to do a deal with Mr Clegg and co.
Yes, it's all about the deals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mike Yardley, thank you very much. Some very good thoughts there. Don't forget, of course, NewsMakers is on Friday nights at 8:30 and Sunday at 5:30, so don't miss it. Thanks a lot, Mike.